So one of the problems that we've been running into is when a buyer doesn't use a local lender to purchase their home. So today we're going to go over 4 different reasons why you should always use a local lender.
Number one, local lenders are going to be able to pay a lot better attention to detail with your loan. And this is because there's probably going to be only 1 or 2 people working on your loan. When you work with a big corporate institutional lender, you'll probably have a lot of different people working on your loan, and things can get confused and it's harder to stay on track.
That's right. And then number 2 is that they stick to timelines better. Applying for a mortgage is very time sensitive. Not only can your rate change over time, but you could also lose out on that home that you're trying to purchase. If you have a lender that's constantly asking for extensions, the seller might not want to wait anymore. So local lenders just have a better reputation for sticking to the timelines versus bigger institutions that usually ask for more extensions.
That's right. And also, for number 3, local lenders are going to be more available to answer your questions after business hours and on the weekends. When you use a big institutional lender, a lot of times they're only working from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Also, if you're using a lender that was referred to you by your realtor, it's important for them to keep that relationship intact. Most lenders are spending a lot of time building relationships with realtors so they can have repeat business. And if you're working with a big corporate lender, sometimes you're just another number and it's not something that's as important to them.
Yes. And then number 4, if you're in a situation where it's multiple offers and there are other offers very similar to yours, but they're using local lenders and you're not, this could even mean the difference between getting the house or not getting the house. Because if you're using a lender that isn't local, that doesn't have as good of a reputation, the real estate agents and sellers might not even consider your offer just because of that. So it's very important just to use a local lender because of that credibility and that reliability.
So one of the experiences I've had with a client who used a corporate lender is we put an offer for a home, and the seller actually wasn't going to accept their offer until we switched to a new lender. So that was a great case scenario for us because they still were able to get the home, but we just had to switch lenders in order to get our offer accepted. And another client, I was representing the seller in this case, but the buyer used a corporate lender, and when it came, we were already a little bit behind. It was for a new construction home, but the communication was very poor. I would get emails from different people I had never talked to, and everything seemed to be very disorganized. And when it came time to close, they actually needed an extension for a week and a half, which was very surprising because they had an extra month or so to kind of get everything figured out. But when it came time, they weren't organized. They messed up on some of the numbers, and we had to check and double check everything before it was time for closing.
Wow. So in my scenario, I represented the buyer, and that buyer did go through a local lender actually, but it was a lender that was a friend of theirs, and they had no idea how she worked, how she operated, what her reputation was, or anything. So they took a leap of faith with this person because it was somebody they knew. And what ended up happening is that this lender had not a lot of experience working with self-employed income, which is very different from W-2 income. Okay, so throughout the process, communication was bad, very unorganized. This person never picked up their phone, only communicated through text messaging, and it was just a really bad experience throughout. Come to the end of all of this, when it should have been time to close, there were 2 extensions that they asked for. So finally at the end, still couldn't close it, still was trying to figure it out, how to get it closed. And the seller didn't want to wait anymore. So they lost out on the home that they wanted. And come to the end, they even blamed my buyer, you know, for not, I don't know why. How do you blame a buyer when, you know, you pre-approve them at the front for this amount, right? But that just goes to show that just because you use a local lender, it doesn't mean that they're going to be good. You want to use somebody that has a good reputation, use somebody credible, somebody that's referred to you by a credible person. Okay. So those are our stories. If you have any stories like that you want to share, put it in the comments, because we'd be curious to know.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video with anyone that you know that is in the buying process right now or thinking about buying.